far, so good. I've got a clean visual.
A direct feed to your optic nerve. Yes, I should hope so, huh? I mean, how does it feel? To fly like a bird?
Like a bird strapped to a remote control rocket.
We will get you in safely, Dolorich. Just relax and enjoy the ride.
Right.
Can you hear me, Raiko?
Doctor.
Remember the two procedures to maintain your new body. 1. Seizing nano repair units from your foes. And 2.
Absorbing their electrolytes. I got it.
Yes, enemy cyborgs should provide plenty of MCFC electrolytes once you slice them open and extract their fluids.
They're terrorists. I was planning on that anyway.
Oh, and their left hands, if you please.
Excuse me?
The combat data stored on holographic memory, typically located in the left hand. That data is very valuable. I am authorized to offer you upgrades and services in exchange for it.
How generous.
Ich liebe Kapitalismus. Had the war come down a few years earlier, I would have a Nobel Prize on my shelf.
There, I see land.
3-mile route closing. No activity at the airbase. Looks like we don't need to worry about interceptors.
Great. Then we have time for a quick briefing.
I know you miss me, Kev, but I've been all over the materials.
That's what you said before Montenegro. Look, just humor me, buddy. Objectives, of course, are enter Abkhazia, neutralize the terrorists, and restore the rightful government, or what's left of it anyway. The president and most of the cabinet have been killed, and a military junta's been established. The terrorists brain-jacked all the high-ranking officers, and their cyborgs scattered the rank and file. The few leaders who have survived have no way of openly opposing the new regime. That's why they called us.
Andrei Dolcev, leader of the occupation forces, an extremist linked to both the St. Petersburg massacre of 2015 and last year's terror spree in Georgia. And his arms supplier, none other than Desperado Enforcement LLC.
Romani's killers. If we don't stop them here, they could destabilize the entire region. But our more immediate problem is Jetstream Sam. I believe you've met.
The only problem I see is that nickname. I've got my enhancements this time. He won't be an issue.
He may not even be in country. But keep an eye out just in...
Oh, sorry.
Ready for insertion.
You landed safely, huh? First, head inland. The waypoint is marked on your Soliton radar. Contact us on codec if you have questions.
Control, it's Raiden. I'm on the ground.
Copy, Raiden. Glad to hear it. Entering on foot was the right move. That craft isn't equipped with stealth camo. Or octo camo, obviously, since that would be useless in midair.
And we wouldn't want to get your pricey new jet damaged, now would we?
Duh. The MQ-133C was not cheap, Dolorich. Now, keep alert. According to intel, you could find significant cyborg deployment here. If you were to be cornered by an entire squad, it might get difficult, even for you.
Understood. Some fighting will be necessary, though. I've got electrolytes to replenish.
This is not an infiltration mission. There is no need to hide or avoid combat outright, huh? Just do not get reckless. Stay safe and stay focused on your mission. chance the MQ was spotted before your drop-off. I would not be surprised if hostile cyborgs were already en route to your position.
A little welcoming party wouldn't be so bad. I could use a warm-up.
Enough with the attitude, Raiden. It's time to be serious. This is no game. I need you to focus. Many people are counting on you, and I don't just mean here at Maverick.
You don't need to remind me of that.
Good. The last thing we need is another clever cowboy shipped back to us in pieces. On Codec is fine. Just be sure you are serious on the battlefield. Your enemies will be.
Yes, sir.
Raiden, we are clear on the rules of engagement, yes?
Clear enough. I can use deadly force against any hostile elements. Hostile cyborgs, I can strike first.
Basically, yes. The actual rules of engagement is more specific. A long list of no's. But you have the idea.
You want to recap the highlights for me?
No weapons prohibited by international treaty. No use of force against non-combatants, especially officials or anyone with political power who may be needed for negotiations. No use of force against any unarmed hostile seeking to surrender. And no use of force against any non-cyborg combatants without prior verbal warning.
And that includes Dolzaev?
Duh, but this should not be a problem. Any non-cyborg is little threat to you, Dolzaev included. Besides, we have no signs of any non-cyborg hostiles anywhere in the area. Not even one. We think Dolzaev is working alone with Desperado here. In any case, that is the ROE. Otherwise, deadly force is authorized only in clear case of self-defense.
So basically, civilians off limits, human hostiles verbal warning, hostile cyborgs, anything goes.
Yes, this is a conventional warfare scenario, so the rules are based on the Hague Convention.
Yeah, sounds pretty standard. Still good to list out all the no-nos before things get too hairy. ROEs that only specify who you can engage require too much judgment. They make it harder to remain focused on battle.
Duh. This is why most militaries' ROEs list negatives, not positives. The few that take the other approach, I pity their soldiers the questions they face. Oh, and for our purposes, UGs are considered the same as hostile cyborgs.
Copy that.
We have no rules about property damage, but keep it minimal, yes? It just makes us look bad. Anything standing in your way, trees, streetlights, this is fine. But there's no reason to damage civilian homes, or to go snooping.
Goes without saying.
You're familiar with your new body now, yes? Then let's begin the warm-up. Slash at something. A pump. You're familiar with your new body, and let's begin. Slash at something.
Looks like a war zone out here.
The palace cleared out quick when Dolzaev's men showed up. The streets got pretty hot after that. We're definitely gonna see a few civilian casualties here. Luckily, it looks like most of them got out of the city before things got bad. They've basically got control of the entire town, and are using the refinery as their HQ.
And that's why we're hitting the plant.
Keep in mind, those cyborgs are contractors. For most of these guys, this is just a job. In theory, once you eliminate their commanding officer, they should scatter pretty quickly.
Yeah. Let's go over everything we have on Desperado.
Roger that. Let's see here. Desperado Enforcement, LLC. Registered in the U.S., Delaware.
Makes sense. The U.S. doesn't regulate PMCs too closely.
Looks like almost all of their actual business is handled outside the states, though. Says here their financials are handled by a separate company based in St. Kitts and Nevis.
The preferred tax haven of mega...
Probably why they incorporated in Delaware. There's still a lot we don't know about them. They're a PMC and reignite conflicts. They also have ties.
Sounds like a
We've confirmed 3 key captains in Desperado. The captain presiding over...
Cyborg?
Yep. All... You're...
I didn't shoot.
Yeah, well, to be... Different cultures use language differently. As you can attest, Mr.
Looks like a war zone.
The palace cleared out quick when we're definitely gonna see. Luckily, it looks like they've basically got...
And that's why we're hitting...
Keep in mind, in theory...
Looks like a war zone.
The palace... Luckily, they've basically...
And that's...
Keep in mind, in theory...
How we doing, Courtney?
You're looking good on our end. GPS and audio-visual feed coming in fine. Energy consumption? Check. Damage levels? Check. Blood pressure, brain waves, blood sugar? Check, check, check. All this monitoring equipment, I got a better view than if I was standing. Anyway, I'll be saving all your... But contact me anytime.
Copy that. Good to hear.
Yep, the basic system's exactly the same. And save complete.
Copy. I'm glad to hear you're okay after Africa.
Tell me about it. 3 armored vehicles, and it would have been against it.
I keep asking myself.
It just doesn't. Maybe there's some intel. Maybe if I reacted fast.
You can't think that.
Right. You need. No?
I wanted to follow up on PMC work if the pressure ever gets to be...
I'm not do PMC's wheels. They need to better understand ex-military.
You're right. Yeah.
Hey!
How? By...
Oh, come on.
Please tell me that was a joke.
What's up? No? Did you need anything else?
No, just wanted to hear the sound.
Oh, save it for your wife, Raiden.
Titan, shall we review the capabilities of your new body?
Copy that. Go ahead, Doc.
As we discussed, you've been outfitted...
Fuel electrolyte absorption and...
Precise first. And as your HF would say, your host and your fuel cells will...
I would indeed.
But, the repair process is a bit... Most military...
So I need to slice them open and use Zandatsu to...
Correct. Keep in mind, it will still repair your...
Basically, hard...
Rather gruesome...
I may be a citizen.
Oh? But what then?
I don't identify with... I'm my own man. Anyway, I seem to...
Indeed. These splatter films are big in Germany, Russia, Japan, everywhere. Well, everywhere except regions afflicted by... It all has to do with payment.
Huh?
The desire to feel fear. These films allow the viewer to delude themselves...
Okay, Doc. I got the gist. Let's save the full psych lecture for some... So these self-repair units and the other cyborgs.
Indeed. It is typically a slow...
And you didn't think it was a good idea?
Certainly not.
Healing wounds?
Your ability to...
I know.
Understand?
I get that, Doc.
No, it's not. How is your eye?
Great. My sight's perfectly balanced between both eyes.
Quite right.
200 megapixels, huh? Doesn't sound...
More than sufficient for the application. A human's optic nerve has only about 1 million fibers, you know. Were we to add more sensors, your perceived...
Huh. So I shouldn't expect any...
No, your brain would no longer be able to process any more visual... Still, compared to previous ACEs, yours has 1.4 times the resolution and...
It may only result in a slight perceived...
Regrettably, I have not had enough time to do... Thus, I have cut out your...
Works for me.
But remember, the human eye is so much...
Stuff like that's important, and with less moving parts. Besides...
Well, I'm very...
I can worry about how I look.
Stay vigilant. You must continue. Check your destination. Stay vigilant.
Вообще из тех ядовитых были.